So it was an accidental overdose on painkillers. I was the first to find her on my way out to a new job that I'd gotten at an Amazon warehouse. I still needed to go because I needed the money. So after talking to my sisters and handling the paramedics, I headed out to work. My mother was a wonderful person. She was really kind and worked hard to make sure that my sisters and I had everything we needed to succeed. Despite dealing with her own health issues, she managed to keep us housed in school and fed. She was studying to be an accountant when she died. My father was a brilliant man. He had patents on equipment that he had designed for things ranging from the novel to the industrial. He ran his own business too. It was a pillow company. He was a loving father until the divorce. He became a lot angrier after that. I didn't want him to be alone, so when my sisters went with my mom, I went with my dad. I watched a man that I loved be slowly transformed by frustration, pride, and loneliness. He was driven, but his idea of success had more to do with wealth than it did to do with health. He was struggling furiously against a life that wouldn't fit into his plans, instead of gracefully accepting the change and growing. Long after our relationship had ended, he was taken by stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and he didn't know until it was too late because he was too frugal to go to the doctor. The best way to make money is to save money. I didn't have the money to continue with college, so I dropped out after a couple years, and my sisters and I were more or less on our own. I got whatever jobs I could: cab driver, gym attendant, barista, call center agent, debt collector, anything. I had a couple at a time usually, and I still couldn't manage to get enough to afford the basics. I would usually have to give up something, and it was typically my asthma medication. Around this time, I started focusing on learning web development. It was something that I always liked as a hobby, but I never got the chance to study in college because the community college in my town didn't have it as a program. It would be 4 years later that I got fired from a job, a call center job. I left a little bit early because I felt too sick to bike home. After that, something kind of broke in me. I realized that the system that I was participating in wasn't designed for me to succeed if I was playing by the rules. When doing the math in my head, I couldn't figure out how I'd be able to save up for college, get a degree, and then get a developer job until I was too old for any of that to matter. I decided that I would need to rewrite my own ethics. I would need to lie in order to progress. I changed my resume and said that I was already a developer. A week later, I was making $60,000 a year as a junior software engineer. I was 26. I don't want my kids to grow up in a world where they have to lie to start a career. I don't want them to be deprived of healthcare because they don't have enough money. They shouldn't have to lose a family or endure the kind of heartbreak that I did because of a culture that pushes people to sacrifice themselves in order to succeed. We can build a better world for ourselves and for the next generation. The Beanchain is the first step that I'm taking towards building something better. The Beanchain is designed to be a worker-directed company. We're building tools and systems that allow for worker direction right into the company. Things like casual voting, forums for proposing and debating ideas, teams that can allow people to make more money for doing more work. We're also working towards a living wage and a path to ownership for people that want to make it a career to work here so that we can eventually be a cooperative. We're testing things out, trying to figure out the best tools for a worker-directed business and building a smooth path towards that worker cooperative. As we perfect this model, we can build more Beanchains and put those around a nonprofit network that offers services like IT, legal, marketing, staffing solutions, and more. Everything the shops will need. That way, the majority of the profits and the power can stay in these shops and in the communities that they're trying to support. Then, we need to scale that up and invite other companies to join us and become worker-directed or worker cooperatives or ESOPs and share that same bank of services and expand it so that all of these businesses can thrive while also making sure to care about their workers. We think that in a system like this, people can grow and succeed based on merit. People will be able to make a living wage and afford what they need in life. They can afford to raise a family. We can create a better world for our kids.